Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sushil Shukla. I am assistant professor in IIMT College of Management. Today I am feeling privileged and honored to speak on a session that is on fundraising strategies for startup ecosystem in India. So I am really excited to see a huge audience here, and that is really giving me a lot of motivation to speak on. And I think you are also excited to make this session interactive, and my triggering point might definitely help you all to get some advantage based on this entrepreneurship development shell. So, you all know that for entrepreneurial journey or any startup journey, innovation and creativity is the basic element to start with. Even before that, what we require is empathizing the problems of the people of the society. That is the starting point. Because why this point is coming? Because this point is coming from the design thinking process. Because in this entire journey, we follow the design thinking process steps, in which the first step is empathizing. Why empathizing is so important? Because till we feel the pain of the people of the society, we cannot really create a business which is sustainable, which is viable, and which is really going to address the pain points. That's why everything starts from empathizing the problems of the people of the society. That is one point. Once we empathize, then we start identifying the problems. Like which sector, what kind of problem we are going to address. Once we have identified a problem, so then we have to go for solution of the problem. Now, in this process, there are different stages we have to go through. Since we have to go through different stages, and that's why what we need is, we have to go a step-by-step process. Out of all the needs, out of this total journey of entrepreneurship development, what we need is adequate fundraising. Because without fund, we cannot move ahead. This is the just lifeblood of the entire journey. I hope you all are agreeing? Yes. So, if fundraising is so important, so what we need to know as an entrepreneur is that what kind of fund we are looking for, how much fund we are looking for, at what stage of our journey we are looking for what amount of fund. All these things are to be decided in our planning process. Because otherwise, optimally we cannot use the fund. Because till we use the fund adequately or optimally, it is very difficult to avoid leakage of funds. And in case if leakage of funds is there, definitely it is very difficult to make the business profitable or to meet the goals which were set at the initial stage. So once we know that how much fund is required, at what stage we are requiring the fund, so we have to set the milestones at different stages, because without that proper plan, it is very difficult to put focus on raising fund and finalizing the strategies how we are going to source the fund from different sources. So, first of all, let us understand in this journey why at all an entrepreneur require fund for a startup. So what we need is, initially we are talking about empathizing, identifying the problem, and then while solving the problem, we have to go for prototype creation. After ideation, we go for prototype creation. So for prototype creation, we need funds. Then also, we have to go for product development. And we have to, after prototype testing and all, we have to go for product development, and that product development needs proper fund and a lot of expenses are required. Also, we need raw material and equipments and tools and machinery and also technology to enable this entire journey. Also, we need fund for the legal and consulting services from subject matter experts, because nothing is free. In today's world, whether it is legal consulting, whether it is all technological consulting, we need to have what? Funds are required as a consultation fees. We need office space, infrastructure, admin expenses. Also we need adequate team on board so that they are going to contribute in their different roles and responsibility, whether the team belong to HR function, finance, administration, network engineering function, and other functions, sales and marketing and all. So we need adequate number of people to be on board. That's why also we require fund. Also we need certain set of licenses and certifications before starting our journey of entrepreneur. So there also we need fund. We need a working capital. Also we need a lot of funds for sales and marketing activities as operation. So we understand now that why at all we require fund to start a business from ideation till commercialization of the product or services across the market. Because once the why is clear, definitely this is driving our entire journey and plan execution. So there are some different types of startup funding. What are the different types of startup funding? Like equity financing is one part, where the equity financing, this involves basically selling a portion of a company's equity in return of a capital or profit. Then there is a debt financing, where debt financing that involves borrowing of money and paying it back with interest to the lending agencies like banks and all. Also, we can source out funds from some grants which are provided by some government schemes at different levels. And different levels, I mean at central level, state level, or local level. There are some different agencies, like you might have heard about SFCs, State Finance Corporations. They're also providing funds based on the business plan justification at different stages, depending on their criteria set and the type of business or the size of the business set up by the entrepreneur. So there are different investors and financiers who are also involved in funding this. Okay. What do investors look for in startups? You also know that there are a lot of investors, and investors are categorized primarily like angel investors and venture capitalist firms. So angel investors and venture capitalist firms are not simply going to invest their funds and money in any business plan, right? They have certain criteria, they have certain due diligence kind of homework before taking a decision whether to fund this particular business plan or not. Okay, so for that they have to be very objective, and they need to see whether the overall business plan is objective and problem solving. Then they want to see that what is the quality of management and team. They have to see the market landscape for this particular business idea where they wish to raise fund or invest as an investor. Also they have to see the scalability and sustainability of business, whether the business idea in long run or short run is going to make it scalable and sustainable, because they are subject matter experts. They know about the markets and different sectors and segments. So based on their experience and expertise, they evaluate or assess the entire situation based on the market scenario before taking a decision of funding any project. Okay? They also want to see the customers and suppliers. They also want to have a competitive analysis, like what competition this particular product and service is going to face, how viable it is, how it is fitting into the solution, how it's fitting into the market, how it's viable and fitting into the problems, which is a statement given in the initial stage of planning. How the sales and marketing funnels are there, how they are going to tackle this, how the financial assessment to be made before taking a decision of funding. Okay. And also they see the terms and conditions and the contract before finalizing. They also see how to exit avenues. Like suppose they are taking a decision to fund any business idea, but they have to see each and every terms and condition and contract negotiation and agreement, so that end-to-end picture is very clear, the vision is very clear, the goals are set properly, so that there is no hurdle in between if anything arises like that. So there are different stages of a startup journey at which sourcing of fund is sought after. The first stage is ideation, where initially we have to analyze things with the subject matter experts, which are very limited in number, and based on that we go for what? We go for prototype creation and designing and development, and then of course we go for the testing and getting a lot of feedback from the customers and market, and based on that continuously we improvise, and after improvising we incorporate all the customer expectation or end user expectation in the product till it is really marketable and launched in the commercial angle in the market. So after ideation stage, we go for the validation stage, where we test, validate based on the customer feedback and end user feedback, and improvise with all features which are really agreed at the initial stage of planning the business idea. Early traction means we have to see that initially how is the response of the market based on this particular product and service. Then we see once it is launched how it is scaling or how it is growing. So all these plans and stages need clear understanding what amount of fund is required at different stages, from ideation, validation, early traction, scaling, and exit options. At each and every stage, different amount of fund is required, and based on that, we have to see and set our milestones, how and where from what amount is to be raised, so that we can ensure and assure the smooth operation of our entrepreneurial journey, which is at the right growth path, and also it is not only growing, it is scalable and sustainable and eco-friendly, considering all the different angles and prospects. So we have seen that there are different stages where we require fund, and that's why there are steps to start off fundraising. The steps required, like first we assess the need of the funding, what and why, and at what stage it is required. Then after assessing the investment readiness, whether the investors are really ready as per our requirement. Maybe suppose if one investor is going to provide us only X amount and we require X plus Y, so definitely we have to go for multiple investors in the market, so that our requirement is not hampered and it is taken care. So we need to clearly assess the investment readiness or investors' readiness, whether they are angel investors or venture capitalist firm or some other form of funding. Then preparation of pitch deck, like how we are going to pitch the business idea among the investors or venture capitalists or angel investors or some other things, so that they are convinced with our idea from 360-degree angle, because they are not going to simply invest in our business idea till they are really convinced end to end, and they are assured that they are going to invest in our money, in our business idea. Why? Because they are 100% sure that return on investment will be ensured, the profitability will be ensured, and there is a future and sustainability and growth path they could foresee. And that is the reason they are convinced and they can definitely go for that. Then investor targeting. We have to foresee what investors are targeting, because their targets as a strategy partner are to align with our own target as an entrepreneur. Then only we can see that we can go hand in hand, because you know that angel investors are always individuals who are having surplus fund and they want to invest at early stage of startups. So not only they invest and add value to the fund, they also go for the mentorship. They also go for provide us networking and subject matter expertise along with funding. Okay, but the venture capitalist firm are definitely having a long-term vision. They go for a huge amount of investing. At the same time, they are having very huge network. So they provide us the networking opportunity as well. Also, they have a very good subject matter expertise and technological advancement in terms of their expertise, so that their technology advantage, the competitive advantage, the expertise, and of course the networking, everything is taken care. And so that we leverage, and that's why they go for long-term investing where the rapid growth is possible and where we want to really scale up the business. There basically the venture capitalists are really playing role, because initially venture capitalists are not required. Before venture capitalist firms are taking a decision to invest in any business idea by entrepreneurs, they do due diligence. Why they do due diligence? Because they have to assess and evaluate each and every statement, each and every commitment which is made in the plan. They have to evaluate whether it is really worthwhile, whether it is really valid, or simply it is a statement. Because they have the thorough understanding of the market. They know the different ins and outs and different aspects of the market and business, and based on their long-term experience in the market and business, definitely they assess through different sources till they are convinced they don't go for any kind of investing. They also see the term and condition sheet or the contract sheet, where what terms conditions are there. Everything is clear, like what will be the management team, who will be the investors, who are the directors, what are the different teams, and also what are the different terms and conditions mentioned in the contract, whether everything is covered or not. So everything is thoroughly and meticulously checked and assessed and validated by investors like venture capitalist firm, until they are convinced they don't go for this kind of thing. So apart from this, we need to see there are clear-cut exit criteria also. Suppose in between the business idea is not working well, so what may be the after a certain stage where the growth is already done? Because this is a journey with a lot of milestones. The entrepreneurial journey is full of milestones, because it's a life cycle from ideation till commercialization of the product and services. So at any stage where entrepreneurs foresee that, okay, now this particular business is not viable, it is at the maturity stage, now sustaining is quite difficult, sometimes they go for selling the business, or the mergers and acquisitions happen, or they capitalize the entire business at any stage of business, depending whenever they assess the market and feel that. Also they go for initial public offering, IPO kind of scenario, where they feel that now our product and services, which are covered a long journey from ideation till growth and sustainable stage, is now in a situation where we can go for initial public offering, because through IPO also they raise huge fund from the public as a shareholder, and then of course they cover a different growth path in the business journey. Then they might be selling some shares, or sometimes they buy back also shares and all. Okay. So after covering all these things, just to add on certain more aspects in the fundraising strategies, like initially we can go for the bootstrapping. There is a term bootstrapping, that means it is also a mechanism to raise fund, which is also known as the self-financing. Because initial stage we don't want a lot of debt and everything, because that incur a lot of interest rate and all. So initially we are not in a situation to give so much interest on the fund, because initially we have to be very careful and cautious to optimally use the fund where it is really required. And that is the reason initially we don't go for taking debt financing or equity financing. We go for bootstrapping, which is a self-financing mechanism. It is based on the personal saving or funds from the friends and family to cover initial expenses. That is bootstrapping. Next stages, once we grow from ideation to prototype development and creation, and then of course going for the product development and all. We can go for angel investors, where they provide at initial stage, and then of course we go for venture capitalist kind of funding. So in angel investing scenario, like for example Ratan Tata, Kunal Shah, Sanjay Mehta, they are the few names in the market who work as angel investors for very good business idea. It may be from social sector, it may be from fintech, edtech, health tech, or any kind of sector where so many problems are there and the new entrepreneurs are coming forward and solving the problem with a long-term vision and clarity of goals. So these investors are definitely worried about the return on investment, that is one aspect, and apart from that they want to have a robust business idea, which is really assuring that the return on investment and the growth and sustainability will be ensured. Like Sequoia Capital, Axel Partner, and Nexus Venture Partner, they are some venture capitalist firms which are funding the business ideas which are really promising in the market. We go for bank loans, and for bank loan there are of course documentation and everything is required, like collaterals, and the eligibility is very very strict, and that is the reason initial stage we avoid bank loans and all. Then there are government schemes and initiatives which are to foster the successful entrepreneurial journey by so many or maximum people of the India. And that's why there come the role of Ministry of MSME, as I indicated that Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is having a very good organized system where the online Udyam portal is there, where different, whether it's a micro level, small level or medium level entrepreneurs can go and register themselves in different legal structures like OPC, LLP, or private limited firm or public limited firms. And based on their business idea, they can raise funds from different sources once they have fulfilled the criteria set by the government agencies at central level, state level, and district level. There are some credit guarantee fund schemes for micro and small enterprises which are also there. So awareness is also very very important at different central level or state level or district level. What are the schemes which are running where we fulfill the criteria and we can avail the subsidies and incentives, so that initial stage we should not feel the crunch or burden of the funds, so to run the smooth journey of entrepreneur. There is a crowdfunding also a source of fund where, that may be based on the donation, based on the reward, or equity based. It may be for social cause, it may be for some disaster or something like that, where we raise crowdfunding. That is also a source for entrepreneurial journey, where we want to really solve some ground realities, where the problems are really serious for the people of the society. So these basically are really some of the sources of funds where we can raise the funds, but only thing is the right combination of all these sources of fund at right time as per the set milestones in the entire journey is very, very required. Because suppose we require X amount of fund and we are taking X plus Y plus Z at that stage, so that may be inadequate use of fund, there are chances. So we have to be very careful, we have to consult with the subject matter expert of finance to ensure that right amount of fund from the right source is to be raised and utilized optimally at right stage, so that there is no leakage of fund, there is no wastage inside the fund, and then we can ensure optimum use of fund with the right agency. And wherever there are chances of subsidies and grants, we should always look for based on the criteria set by the government agencies. So instead of just taking sourcing the fund from angel investors, venture capitalist firm, government agencies, banks, and BFCs, we should decide very cautiously what proportion of fund is really important and how we are going to utilize the funds for the right set of requirements, so that we are ensuring the journey is profitable, the journey is viable, and our vision and everything is aligned and clear. So with this, I think my overall discussion of the session, which was initially targeted towards the strategies for raising funds from the startup journey in Indian startup ecosystem, that was, I think, discussed well. And now you all are welcome to ask any question related to any doubt, so that I will try to answer that doubt. Thank you very much. So no questions. So thank you again once again to the whole audience for your patience and listening well. Wish you all the best. Thank you.